Okay, today we're going to look at dehydrating food in the sun oven. The last video we did was not really a very good video on the boiling water because it wasn't really that hot that day. Today you can boil water way faster. Okay, today we're going to look at dehydrating. Okay, today because you actually want to keep the temperature between 110 and 150 degrees when you're dehydrating food, or you end up with cooked food instead of dehydrated food. So let's get the dehydrating racks and see how we get started. Okay, it comes with 3 dehydrating racks. When you dehydrate food, you want to cut 3 pieces of 9-inch wax parchment paper. And then you just place these on the dehydrating racks. And then you place some of your vegetables. We got some peppers and tomatoes, stinging nettles here to dehydrate, and apples. So let's do a mix on each rack to see if the bottom racks dehydrate as fast as the top ones. You want to be careful when you go in your oven. These get very hot inside. So you just stack the trays on top of each other like this. Okay, when you shut your door, when you're dehydrating food, you don't latch it. You leave, instead of putting this over the top to latch it down, you place the lid on top of it. So there's a gap between the rubber seal. So it lets the moisture out. Instead of cooking your food, it dries it. If you let it, it's a little hot right now, but it should be okay. I moved it a little bit, the focus out of the sun. When you let it get too hot, that's okay. You just open the door for a couple of minutes, let the hot air out, and place it back like that. So it's about 5 hours before sundown. Usually you want to start at the beginning of the day because food takes a very long time to dehydrate. If at the end of the day it's not dry all the way, but it's mostly dry, you can just seal your container. And you might not want to do that with meat, but with vegetables a lot of times. And then next morning you just open it back up and dehydrate it, and you can leave it there overnight. That's what the instructions say anyway. Okay, so this should be good to go. You may want to come out a couple of times. It's not as important dehydrating. When you're cooking, you want to come out about every half hour to make sure you have the maximum heat. Dehydrating, since you don't want it all the way hot, just come out once or twice to make sure it's focused in the sun right. So we'll see what happens in about 5 hours. Okay, these only had about 4 hours of cooking time because the sun went behind the trees over there. Let's see how they did. They definitely dried quite a bit. I think if you put them out early in the morning, they would dry in one day if you cut them thin. The top layer did really good. The bottom layer, wow. The stinging nettle is almost dry. So I had it facing directly into the sun at the end because about 2 to 2.5 hours before sundown you can't really cook very well in the solar oven. It keeps it about 150 degrees by itself. In the day I had it tilted to where the shadow of this fin was actually half to a quarter over the vegetables on there, and it seemed to cook the same amount on both sides. Even the side that had the shadow, I kept it like that to keep it at the right temperature, and it didn't seem to make any difference in the cooking, so that was neat to know. It did really good. The apples taste great, half dehydrated. It was actually really neat. So keep watching, subscribe to our channel. Hopefully we'll do other videos on solar cooking and knives and axes. Thanks for watching.